Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, I will present Environmental Quality Act 1974 for PCB fabrication. Introduction to Environmental Quality Act EQA 1974. The Environmental Quality Act EQA 1974 is a Malaysian law that regulates and manages environmental quality in the country. The act was introduced to ensure that all activities, including PVB, PCB fabrication, are conducted in an environmentally responsible manner. Okay. Fabrication process overview. What is PCB fabrication? PCB, printed circuit board fabrication, is the process of manufacturing a circuit board that connects electronic components. The process involves etching a conductive layer on a non-conductive substrate, usually made of fiberglass or plastic. The conductive layer is then printed with a pattern that connects the various components on the board. EKL requirement for PCB fabrication, permitting and license. PCB fabrication facilities are required to obtain a license from the Department of Environment (DOE) before commencing operations. The license outlines the conditions and limitations of facilities operations, including pollution control measures and waste management practices, air and water pollution control. PCB fabrication facilities must comply with EQA regulations on air and water pollution control. This includes monitoring and reporting emissions and discharges, as well as implementing pollution control measures to minimize environmental impact. Waste management. PCB fabrication facility must implement waste management practices, including segregation, storage, and disposal of hazardous and non-hazardous waste. They must also maintain records of waste generation and disposal and ensure that it's transported and disposed by licensed contractors. Yes. EQA compliance strategies. Internal audits. Conducting regular internal audits can help identify areas of non-compliance and implement corrective actions before an official EQA inspection. This can including reviewing waste management procedures and water quality monitoring and employer training records. Compliant training. Providing regular compliant training to employers can ensure that they are aware of EQA requirements and how to comply with them. This can include training on proper handling and disposal of hazardous materials, as well as maintain accurate records and documentation. Okay. EQA informant and penalties. The EQA 1974 mandates strict enforcement measure and penalty for non-compliance PCB fabrication. It is crucial measure adherence to the regulations to offer legal repercussion. Environmental Impact Assessment (EIA). What is environmental impact assessment? An environmental impact assessment (EIA) is a process that evaluates the potential environmental impacts of a proposed project or activity. The purpose of an EIA is identify and assess potential impact and to develop strategy to mitigate or avoid those impacts. Why is an EIA important for PCB fabrication? PCB fabrication involves the use of chemical and hazardous materials, which can have significant environmental impacts if not fully managed. And EIA helps to identify potential impacts, develop strategies, minimize them, ensuring that PCB fabrication is conducted in an environmentally responsible manner. What is the EIA process for PCB fabrication? The EIA process for PCB fabrication typically involves the following steps. Screening. Determine if an EIA is required for the purpose project. Scoping, identify potential impacts and develop a plan for EIA. Assessment, evaluate potential impacts and develop strategies to mitigate, avoid them. Review, submit the EIA report to the relevant authorities for review and approval. Monitoring, implement the strategies developed in the EIA and monitor their effectiveness. EIA process for BCB fabrication. Environmental Impact Assessment (EIA) is a crucial step in the PCB fabrication process that ensures compliance with the Environmental Quality Act (EQA) 1974. The EIA process involves identify and evaluating the potential environmental impacts of the PCB fabrication process, as well as proposing measures to mitigate these impacts. Key step in the EIA process. Screening. This initial stage involves determining whether an EIA is required for the purpose PCB fabrication project based on its potential environmental impact. Scoping. This stage involves identifying potential environmental impacts of the project and determining the scope of the EIA study. Assessment. This stage involves conducting a detailed assessment of the potential environmental impact of the project, as well as proposing measures to mitigate these impacts. Reporting. This stage involves preparing a detailed report on the findings of the EIA study, including the potential environmental impacts of the project and proposed mitigation measures. Review. This final stage involves reviewing the EIA report and determine whether the proposed PCB verification project is compliant with the EQA 1974. Conclusion and next steps. In conclusion, complying with the Environmental Quality Act EQA 1974 is crucial for PCB fabrication companies to ensure environmental sustainability and avoid penalties. Following the EQA requirements and implementing compliance strategies, companies can reduce their environmental impact and improve their reputation among stakeholders. The next steps for PCB fabrication companies include productive and environmental impact assessment (EIA), implemental recommended measures to mitigate any negative environmental impact. Companies should also regularly review and update their compliance strategies to ensure continued EQA compliance. So that's it. Okay, thank you.